Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to the garden. Today we're going to be taking a look at kind of what's going on. A lot of stuff growing. The dahlias are doing really well. We planted those a little bit a while ago and I still haven't staked them or trellised them. There should be a video coming about trellising the dahlias sometime soon. I just have not gotten around to it. I've been so busy trying to keep things in line and, working and all that stuff. Lots of dahlias blooming. The first one we have here, this is called Sweet Surprise. I think this one came from Eden Brothers maybe, or Longfield Gardens. I'm not quite sure. Beautiful lavender colors. We also have this, it's either Creme de Cognac or Night Silence. Originally, I think it was labeled as Night Silence, but the more I see it bloom, the more I'm thinking this is Creme de Cognac. I love the colors of this. It's beautiful, especially those dark purples and the kind of lightish yellow color when it first opens. We have our Margie De Dahlia. This is one that I bought off, I can't remember where, but just a beautiful shade of peach with kind of deeper kind of purple tones to it. Very beautiful. Also, didn't think I had any white ones, but turns out I did. This is the Peace Pact Dahlia. This came in a mix. This is one of the very few white dahlias I have growing. We also have this one. It is Snoho Jojo, or however you pronounce these things. It's a very just beautiful kind of pink purple color. Obviously it's a ball dahlia. They're a little bit small now just because, of course, it's early in the season. But I do love the kind of geometry of these blooms and how cool they look. Also, we have Ferncliff Spice, which is coming into bloom. Just a yellow dahlia with lots of kind of hints of purple. That is really pretty. As you can see, there's a lot of that purple in the center still and around the edges of the petals. Overall, we have a lot of dahlias starting to bloom. There's a lot of them budding up too out in the yard. I haven't been deadheading them. I've been deadheading them, but I haven't been removing the buds. I'm letting them bloom just so I can enjoy them and see what they're going to look like. It has been very hot here, so the dahlias aren't exactly blooming how I would expect. Of course, it's not going to be peak dahlia season here in my garden until, September when the weather has started to cool off a little bit. So that's to be expected, but so far I am very pleased. Looking at our perennial flower bed, we also have this beautiful Echinacea and wild bergamot bee balm. Both of these plants, these perennial plants, were started using the winter sowing method last spring, I believe is when I did this. I'm sure there's a video about it where I was winter sowing this bee balm and Echinacea. These were cheap packets of seeds, like 99-cent packets of seeds, and as you can see, they are going crazy. So since they are perennials, of course we had to wait a year. So we sowed our seeds, they germinated, we planted them, no blooms, and then the next season is when they started to bloom. When I originally planted these next to each other, I honestly had no idea that they would bloom at the same time. I just put them in the same flower bed. I only have one perennial bed. But as it would turn out, the fact that they bloomed at the same time worked so incredibly well to my advantage. Not to mention the color combination looks very nice together. These kind of light lavender purples of the bee balm. Very cool looking flowers. Obviously the bees love them. At any given time, there are like 50 to 100 bumbles on here. It's great. Also near the perennial flower bed is the Cosmos. These are the Kiro yellow Cosmos. A few of them have started to bloom. They've put on quite a bit of height. Also, some of our zinnias have started to bloom. These are the Pastel Shades Cupcake Mix Scabiosa flowered zinnias. As you can see, they are not scabiosa flowered. That's just one of those things. If you want a video with more detail about those kind of scabiosa zinnias, let me know, because obviously, as you can see here in my yard, they're not producing double flowers. There's a lot of theories out there in terms of why that is, but we'll just have to see how it plays out as the season progresses, because at this point I have yet to see a double flower, or rather that pincushion looking flower. Our Azuratum have also started to bloom a lot, which is awesome. This is the Timeless Mix. Timeless mix is great because it is just a beautiful mix of colors from white to kind of pale pink and the more traditional kind of shades of red and blue or kind of lavender that you typically see in azuratum plants. These are absolutely just thriving in my heat. I think there are some native species, so it's not a surprise that these do so well in my garden. They're just getting taller and taller, and the more I cut them, the more flowers they are going to produce. The Scabiosa are also almost done. Another one that the pollinators absolutely love. These are going to be pulled out sometime this week to make room for my sunflowers. These are kind of the late blooming hardy annuals, so I need to get these out of here and hurry up and make sure to direct sow my sunflowers and get this show on the road with the sunflowers. We also have the Apple of Peru. I don't really know much about this flower. I bought this from Floret in a seed packet on a whim, so I'm really learning about it this season and trying to get a good grasp on how to grow it and how I can use it for cut flower arrangements. Even though I believe it's a member of the Solanaceae family, it is toxic. So really about just learning about these this year. Got a few of them tucked away in a little flower bed. Our Sahara Rudbeckia. This is the Rudbeckia hirta, Hirta, whatever it is. It is starting to bloom. Some of those plants are budding up. Very excited to see those. In addition to the Rudbeckia, we have our Gomphrena, or our Globe Amaranth. And I have been doing a pretty good job at weeding this. I know you can see some grass in there, but if you guys saw, like, you know, the shady part of my yard, the grass just grows like crazy no matter what I do. But they're starting to kind of put a few little flowers on. So I'm eager to see those begin to elongate and see what kind of color mix that we have. These are in the Lisianthus bed. We're also gonna have some Lisianthus flowers coming sometime soon. I do need to weed those, so I'm not gonna show you them this time. It's embarrassing. Our Tithonia, our row of Tithonia, is doing great. It's looking huge compared to the last time you guys saw it. Overall, lots of things making progress. You can see those tall Scabiosa falling all over the place that I need to take out, but we're making a lot of progress. This really is just a constant work. When I get time, I go out here, I put my mosquito spray on, and I try to do my best to make sure that everything is deadheaded, everything is pinched and stopped. Pretty soon, all of the dahlias are going to be staked. Be on the lookout for a video about all the dahlias getting staked. I also need to trellis all of the zinnias, so make sure you're on the lookout for a video about trellising the zinnias as well. Hopefully, as long as I can keep on top of everything, we'll have a pretty successful year. I mean, you gotta admit, I've really got the plants packed in here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna manage it, because when these things get tall, it's going to be like a jungle back here. Which, I mean, I'm used to having to kind of squeeze into tiny places, but hopefully it won't be too much of an issue to kind of, you know, navigate the camera and all that good stuff. The zinnias, they've really established themselves over the past couple weeks since you guys saw them last. They're getting quite tall. I've kind of pinched all of them back. They're looking really good. Also, be on the lookout for a zinnia cutting video, hopefully soon. I had to kind of wait to make sure we're making progress. But as you can see, I didn't really need any zinnia cuttings because there are probably 1,000 zinnia plants back here in my little tiny backyard. The statice are also in full bloom right now. You'll have to excuse my grass. Sometimes, you know, I just can't win. I do try my best to keep it weed free, but this is the pastel mix statice. I had originally bought a packet of this seed from Floret, and then I saw that it was also offered from Geo Seeds when I made a seed order. So I went ahead and I ordered a full-size packet from Geo Seeds, which gave me tons more seed. And overall, the colors in this packet they're pretty good looking. Most of them are this lavender, this light lavender color, almost kind of white, kind of a smoky gray, if I had to describe it. There are a few light pink tones, but overall those were very scarce. Very few and far between were the nice light pink tones. The darkest color in the mix was a dark purple, but that was also very infrequent too. We also have our marigolds. This is the Hawaii Gold. These are supposed to be 4 foot tall and have huge blooms on them, huge orange blooms. Nothing yet, but we'll just keep watching. The moonflower vines have started to climb up our little trellis that I've attached to my fence. These haven't really been in the ground very long, but they have somehow managed to climb all the way to the top. So I'm excited to help them kind of start vining across the top of that fence, because that's going to be gorgeous if we can get that to bloom. Also, the Clarkia are done. This is our Salmon Grace Godetia. Man, it's been raining a lot here. We had probably 5.5 inches of rain in a week, and these are done. That's really about it. Talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.